brought to you in partnership with the Pride Foundation, reminding you to always think positive and live positive. Please like, comment, and share this video. If you would like to contact us, the information is below. Our special guest today is Mythiquer with Samaritan's Feet. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on the show. I greatly appreciate it.
Well, we're certainly glad to have you. Tell me a little bit about Mythiquer and what you're doing.
So I am a humanitarian. I love Christ. And so I do a lot of things in the community to add value to people's life. I believe in spreading contagious positivity, which is love, hope, joy, and compassion. If we're able to get 1 million people infected with contagious positivity, then I think we can change the world.
Awesome. So how do you do that? How do you spread that contagious positivity?
Yeah, so there's several ways to do it. One of the ways I do is with the organization I founded called We See Abilities. We See Abilities is a nonprofit designed to give special needs kids a better quality of life through the joys of sports and community activities. So I pretty much answer like the 3 questions in the mission statement there. Basically, the target audience is the special needs population. Well, what do? We give them a better quality of life. How do we do that? Through the joys of sports and community activities. What are some of those activities? We do pageants for our special needs community to make them feel valuable in the community. We do events like iFly experiences where we take them to iFly, the wind tunnel. It's absolutely one of our signature events that we partnered with iFly to do. Throughout every quarter, we do an iFly event, and it's a lot of fun. Kids in wheelchairs, Down syndrome, cerebral palsy, they get a chance to go inside an environment called contagious positivity, where the parents don't have to say sorry for their loved one. A lot of times, parents that have kids with autism, Down syndromes, they end up having to apologize for their loved one. And so we create the environment where they don't have to do that, right? And so that's what contagious positivity is all about. And so when we do events at iFly, the parents get to come to an environment where they feel loved, they're free, the kids can run around, they can be themselves. Some of the kids actually get a chance to fly. Some of the kids just put on the suit, and act like they're flying. But at the end of the day, it's all positive, it's all good energy. We do the same experience at the rock climbing facility. In the climb of life, we all have to overcome challenges, right? And so to see these guys go to a rock climbing facility where the texture of the wall is different, especially with sensory issues with kids, they get a chance to touch the wall. That could be a milestone, just even touching the wall, right? The transition between platforms from solid to bouncy, right? That could be a milestone achieved, right? Because it's sensory. And even some of them actually get a chance to climb the wall. We have adaptable climbing harnesses where if you're in a wheelchair, it doesn't matter. We're going to get you linked up and you can pull on that rope and you can climb that wall. And so we partner with a lot of organizations like the Houston Pageant. Miss Houston and Miss Teen Houston also come out and volunteer their services to inspire the kids to be great and do great, and then they get a chance to feel valuable as well. So that's just some of the activities I do with We See Abilities. And then we transition into what I do with Samaritan's Feet is a whole nother platform.
Samaritan's Feet, tell me a little about that.
Yeah, so Samaritan's Feet is founded 17 years ago. The founder of Samaritan's Feet is Manny Ome. He started Samaritan's Feet 17 years ago out of his garage. And how Samaritan's Feet came about is Manny was a little boy in Africa. And when he was in Africa, at the age of 9 years old, he ran water for his village. Okay, and so in the process of running water, some of the village kids, were privileged to certain activities and some wasn't, right? And so he went to the city to go get water, and in the city there was a basketball clinic going on inside the city, and there was a missionary named Dave who was doing the basketball clinic. Really cool story. So in Africa, when you see a round ball, the idea of a round ball is to kick it, right? And so Manny having no shoes on, and there's a basketball rolling off the court. He puts his water down, and he's about to kick this basketball with no shoes. And you can see these missionaries running off the court saying, no, no, no. so he told him, he said, hey, I tell you what, if you come onto the court and you will give you a chance to make a free throw. If you make a free throw, we'll give you a brand new pair of shoes. Manny never shot a basketball a day in his life. And you talk about fate, right? And so he took the basketball and he shot it. His very first shot went in the goal.
Wow.
And he got a brand new pair of tennis shoes. And he was so excited about the shoes, he ran home to his mom. Mom, I got new shoes. And mom was like, that's cool, but where's the water?
Oh. Sent you for
right, sit there with water, right? Because that's how you make money in the village, is passing out water. So that's a really funny story. Anyway, Manny got really, really tall. Really cool story about marketing. If anyone that's in marketing, you should be scared of people that are in marketing. They do a really good job, right? Because that's their job is to market. So for Manny, thinking about the United States of America and him being from Africa, well, marketing of Akeem Olajuwon was the Houston Rockets. That was his image of America, right? And so they did a great job at marketing Akeem Olajuwon. And so Manny thought that everywhere in America was like Houston. Right?
Okay.
So the marketing team from South Dakota did a great job at sending him a brochure. And so when he got that brochure, he's thinking everything is like, Houston. So he ended up getting a basketball scholarship to, I don't want to say it's North Dakota or South Dakota, Devil's Lake. But he ended up doing that, sleeping in a bed for the first time of his life,
Wow.
Just different milestones. His father passed away, and so Manny went back to Africa to go bury his father. And in the process of burying his father, he has to use the restroom. Well, he's been so conditioned and so Americanized, because he's been here over 20 years, his mom was like, the restroom is across the street, and he was like, oh, wait, wow, and so he went across the street, used the restroom. As he came out, he saw all the kids with no shoes, and it just really humbled him and brought him back to realization of, wow, I remember when I was one of these kids, and I remember how it felt when I got my first pair of shoes. And so the Holy Spirit really convicted Manny, and so he wanted to make sure that there was 10 million kids around the world that didn't have to worry about shoes. And so he started this out of his garage. As soon as he got back to America, he told his wife, hey, I want to start this organization. I want to provide shoes for kids all over the world. We want to wash their feet and give them hope. And so 17 years later, we're in 108 countries. 7.7 million kids around the world have received shoes because of the one vision of Manny having to put one pair of shoes on one kid. So that's how Samaritan's Feet got started.
That is absolutely amazing. That's an awesome story, an awesome reality.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're involved in all that is just totally awesome. So we're going to take a short break, and we're going to return momentarily. Please stay tuned.
Kids start to experiment with alcohol as early as 9 years old. It's never too early to talk to your child about the dangers of underage drinking. Your kids really do hear you. Do you know what to say? For tips, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Welcome back to Let's Rise, where we're talking about great things that are happening with youth. My guest today is Mythiquer. Mythiquer, you've been telling me such wonderful things that you're doing with youth. Tell me a little bit more about how your organization sees kids that other people see as disabled. How do you see them?
We see them as abilities. So the premise of we see abilities is we see differently abled, not disabled. We see the abilities and not the disabilities in the community, and we highlight that by giving them an opportunity to be valuable in the community. We don't look at what they can't do, we look at what they can do. If they can smile, then we want to highlight that smile and make that smile contagious.
So how does that transfer into their activities, say like at school or in their day-to-day, operations? How do they transfer that to the things that they do every day?
Right. So a lot of our kids have been, victims of bullying, victims of being teased and things like that. And so we try to highlight these attributes of the special needs community so that they can make more friends. A lot of times kids with special needs, they don't get invited to birthday parties, right? And so their sisters and brothers get invitations all the time. How often does someone with special needs get invited to a birthday party? Think about it the last time. When's the last time we invited someone with special needs to a birthday party, right? Hardly none, right? So I created a platform called We See Birthdays, where we do just that. We invite them to a birthday party. And then we invite peers to come to the birthday party so that they can actually see how the joy, how they interact with the community, and how to be around them in an environment like that. And so it makes it more friendly, it makes them have more confidence in themselves, the parents feel a little bit more confident. And so that's how we try to build their self-esteem and build their awareness of others that are around the community. And so it works really good, we love it. It's awesome. A lot of fun. We get awesome DJs, we dance. You put Michael Jackson on, they'll dance forever.
So not only do they see themselves different, but their peers also see them as different. And so not only do they accept themselves, but the people around them are more willing to accept them.
Correct.
And so there's no fear of a disabled person, which sometimes the reason why we don't invite people because we're afraid and we don't know how to accept them.
Right.
So
I can testimony to that because my first encounter with the special needs population, I was afraid. I wanted to volunteer. I always had that in me. I knew giving back was always good. And so there was a special needs organization that had needed some volunteers. I didn't know it was a special needs organization, okay? So I worked for Continental Airlines. I was making really good money, and I was like, I'm bored. I need to go do something. And so I looked it up, and it said adult daycare. And I was thinking in my mind, I was like, okay, so they're adulting. They're just seniors, and they don't want to be called seniors. They want to be called adults, right? And so I was like, this is going to be fun. They're going to play backgammon, checkers. I'm going to have a great time, right? And so I went to this facility, and adult daycare actually meant, special needs adults that need care. I didn't know that, right? And so I walk into this place, and I'm seeing all these people with special needs, with helmets, biting, and, there's just so much going on. And my mind went into like, whoa, I am not supposed to be here. I didn't sign up for that, right? And the guy said, no, we need you. You're the only male we have. Okay. Right? And so I was like, okay. He said, just be yourself. Be friendly. Be who you say you are. You say you're a positive person, be positive. And so the longer I stayed at the facility, I started falling in love with the hugs. I started falling in love with the smiles. Literally started changing me and making me a better person. But it wasn't until we got to change them where I actually had an encounter with God. This is how I knew God was real, okay? So right after lunch, we finished lunch. Their shirts were dirty, and the guy said, okay, we're going to get everyone in the restroom. We're going to change those guys, and then you're going to be good to go. And I was like, okay, cool. So when God puts a test before you, he equips you for the test, okay? So I went into this restroom with two individuals with special needs that can't talk. They were nonverbal, okay? And the guy gave me the pens, he gave me wipes, he gave me gloves, he gave me axe. And my process in my mind was, wait a minute. I was thinking I was just going to change their shirt. Right, I didn't sign up for that, right. And so I'm in the restroom, he shuts the door, you got this, you know what I mean? Because he had other individuals he had to change that were in wheelchairs. He had lifts, and and I had these two guys, and so I'm standing there and I'm telling God, pride, I don't want to touch another man, just things started happening, and in that process, I can hear, like me and you are talking right now, I can hear God's voice says, Mythiquer, you are one accident away from someone changing your dependence. You're one bad decision away. You're one heartbeat away. And when I heard that, I just broke and started crying. I was like, God, I am so sorry. I thought that I was above this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm above helping these guys get their dignity back. I'm not above that. You know what I mean? And so through the humility of hearing God's voice like that, I just broke down. I changed these guys. I gave them their dignity back. And I felt like I had overcome something that day. So that was an awesome feeling.
That is awesome. And, so you went from looking at those adults in a totally different way, because
totally
after all, they were still men.
Right.
You know,
right,
and
right.
sometimes we look at disabled men as if they're less than men,
Right.
but you realize they're not only men,
Right.
but they're God's men.
That's
they're
right.
God's human beings.
Yeah.
So that's,
I would ask that question, you know, God, why are they here? You know, why is the special needs population here? You know, and the answer that God gave me was, they're here for you to make you better.
that's good.
To give you
That's
an opportunity to serve, to give you an opportunity to be a better person, to build character. Acts 20:35 in the Bible, it tells us that we should take care of the weak. Through our labor, we should take care of the weak. So if you're able to labor, working means work, and create revenue, then you should be able to take care of the weak. That's what we're supposed to do. But then it also says, at the end of the scripture, it says, remember the words of the Lord Jesus Christ, as he said, is blessed to give than to receive.
Yes.
So not only are we charged to take care of the weakest member, but it's also a blessing,
It's a blessing.
to do that. So that's why they're here. They're here for us to be a blessing to them and also to people in the world.
That's totally awesome. Totally awesome. So when you are blessing those, not just the adults, but you transfer that into young people, and you're giving them the opportunity to not just change their lives, but they're changing the people's lives around them. And how do you bring other volunteers and other people
Right.
into that opportunity and give them that same chance so they can see the light that you saw?
Yeah, and you said it perfectly. That's exactly what I do. I ask volunteers to come and be a part of the activities, be a part of the events, so that they can have the same encounter I had with the population. And that's my goal. That's what I'm hoping that happens. I know personally it works. Parents that have came and volunteered for the event still volunteer today. Their children come and volunteer at the event, and they leave changed as a changed person. And so through volunteerism is very important. Volunteerism is proving to lower depression. Whenever you volunteer, you as a person feel valuable. And so that's why we create opportunities for kids to volunteer in the community so that they can feel valuable. And so it lowers depression and gives them, and lowers suicide as well. Because if you're not depressed, you're not suicidal.
That's true.
Yes.
That is so true. Well, we're going to take a short break, and we're going to return momentarily. Please stay tuned.
If you're talking, they will hear you.
We all want our kids to grow up safe and healthy, so we show them how. And we tell them with honest conversations that let them know what we expect. Not just one time, but every chance we get. That's especially important when it comes to alcohol and other drugs. Kids not only need to know the dangers and how to avoid them, they need to hear it often from you. And when it comes to pain medications, opioids, they need to know that they should never be taken without a prescription and never shared with friends or family. It's dangerous and illegal. So talk with your kids and guide them through the challenges of growing up safe and healthy. Because when you talk, they hear you. For more information about talking with your kids about underage use of alcohol and other drugs, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
So talk, they hear you. You can do it if you try.
Our world has gone digital, so you need to have a strong digital brand identity to stay ahead of your competition. Welcome to Kmaya. We are here to help you. Let us be your one-stop shop for all of your branding and marketing needs. Our team of experts will do everything from designing an effective and responsive website to building your mobile application. Our team produces videos for promotion and commercials, as well as live stream corporate events. We want your message to reach potential clients in every corner of the world. Please give us a call today at 832-856-1660.
Welcome back to Let's Rise, where we're talking about great things that are happening with our youth. My guest today is Mythiquer. Mythiquer, please tell me what's going on now and what's coming up in the near future.
Yeah, so we got some events coming up. We'll be doing an event with the city of Houston to help the homeless population, or the less fortunate. I don't really like to call them homeless. Like I said, the less fortunate population get showers. During COVID-19, they expressed the need of showers. They expressed the need of shoes and socks and hot meals. And so that's what we're going to provide for them, is a hot meal. We've partnered with an organization that's going to provide hot showers. They have mobile shower units that's going to come out. And then, of course, Samaritan's Feet is going to provide hope notes along with a brand new pair of socks and tennis shoes for the less fortunate population. So we're really excited about that event that's coming up. I have another event that's coming up. We're going to be partnering with some former NBA players. We're going to do one in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia, which is coming up in June. So we'll be doing that event to do 500 of the less fortunate population we're going to serve in Virginia. And then in the middle of the month, we're going to do another 500 in Miami, Florida. We'll be partnering with the Miami Heat and some celebrities like Rick Ross, Pusha T. Those are some guys in the rap community. And then we're going to head out to Oakland, California and do another 500. So overall, the tour is a 3-city tour, 1,500 brand new pair of tennis shoes in those markets. And it's targeted just for the less fortunate population. And so we want to let them know that they're valuable. We want to let them know that we care about them. We want to feed them. We want to love on them. We want to give them hope. So that's what's coming up I have coming up in June. And then as we get ready to transition for back to school, I have some events that we're going to do locally here in Houston with the Houston Astros, Andre Johnson's from the Texans, Wade Smith from the Texans. So we'll do a back to school event here, and then we'll transition out to different parts of the city, so and the United States. I have one that's in California, Camp Pendleton in San Diego. We're looking forward to doing that event.
Great. So Camp Pendleton, California, that's kind of my old neck of the woods, so I'm really excited. You're not just, doing local things, you're kind of, all across the United States. What about internationally? Are you doing anything internationally as well?
Yes. Me personally, no, because I have so much work to do here. But as an organization, yes, Samaritan's Feet definitely has a lot of international missions that we do. We have some awesome mission opportunities. So anyone that's listening to this or watching this that wants to do anything dealing with Samaritan's Feet or anything dealing with missions, we have a back to school initiative for Ghana. We want to do 25 participants. We want to provide them with brand new backpacks, brand new tennis shoes, brand new socks. So yes, international is where our heart is. We have 25 orphan kids that we want to provide brand new shoes, socks, and so we're looking for people that want to participate in that. We're looking for partners in the community that can help us reach those communities. So not just locally back to school, but also out of the country as well.
Right, the international work. That's incredible. So tell me a little bit more about you as a person. How did you get here? Who are you?
Right, so I was born in Mobile, Alabama, Roll Tide, for all those people that's probably not Bama fans. I was born, the doctor hit me on my cheek and said Roll Tide, and that was it. I was a Bama fan. That you have to declare when you're born in Alabama, either Alabama or Auburn. So, doctor said Alabama, roll with Alabama. So anyway, I grew up there at the age of between 0 and 12 years old. Really good kid, no problems, no drama. And at the age of 12 years old, my mother, I don't know if it's a nervous breakdown, a mental lapse or whatever, but we were on our way to do a Billy Graham Bible study in Happy Hills Projects in Mobile, Alabama. We were, members of a church called Dolphin Way Baptist Church, and so we did a lot of community events with the ministry, the street ministry. And so one Saturday morning, we're waking up, we're on our way to do a Billy Graham, backyard Bible study, and my mother had a mental breakdown, and she told me to get out the car. She started yelling at me, started calling me by my dad's name, and my dad and my mom wasn't together, of course, and so it was just an incident. So at 12 years old, she abandoned me on the side of the road on I-10, and she drove off, and then that was the last time I talked to my mom. And so my grandfather sent my dad's brother to pick me up. And when I got to my grandfather's house, the first thing my grandfather told me was, he said, "I'm not going to tell you I love you. I'm going to tell you I believe in you. Because I know your mom told you she loved you for 12 years. And I don't want you to think that that's what love is. So I'm going to tell you I believe in you and show you what that is." And so he did that. He helped me establish some morals, moral compass, manners. He said people that are going to take care of you are not going to look like you. They're not going to be black. They're not going to be from your neighborhood. Different homes that you're going to go in. I want you to be a person that they can respect. So say yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir. Don't overstay your welcome. Only eat what's on your plate. Not be a burden. No tattoos. To this day, I still don't have no tattoos. I don't have any piercings. I let my hair grow a little bit, but
it's COVID. Okay?
It's COVID. So it really built some real character in me, and that character was my foundation. And I understood that as long as I wasn't looking like a burden or acting like a burden, then I wouldn't get treated like a burden, right? And so those experiences helped me build character. Even in a time period when I was working at the airport in Pensacola, Florida, where I ended up, transitioning to my dad's place in Pensacola at 17. So from 12 years old to 17, I kind of bounced around from home to home to home. But once I got 17, my dad went ahead and took me into his home in Pensacola. And so, and then I graduated, from Woodham High School, went to the University of West Florida, ended up getting a job with, at the Pensacola Regional Airport as a servant, as a sky cap, and using those principles of being a nurturing spirit, a servant person, helped me to develop tough skin. Because we were around some old money back then, and if you ever traveled, which you are traveled, so you've used curbside service, so you understand the sky cap and tipping. Okay, so that mentality was what helped build character in me. And so, and being in Pensacola during that time period, guys would be like, "Hey boy, get my bags, boy," or "Hey boy, go get that wheelchair, boy," and I'm like, whoa, but you develop tough skin. And so, one of the reasons that allowed me to be, one of the reasons that helped me build the character was referring back to what would Jesus do. When Jesus was on the cross, he said, "Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do." Right? And so that was the mentality that I had, and that mentality birthed contagious positivity, and that's the Mythiquer you see today.
Great, fantastic. Thank you so much for being a wonderful guest, very informative. Such a pleasure having you with us today. And thank you so much for watching us today. And remember, please like, comment, or share this video. Join us again for our next episode of Let's Rise. Take care and be blessed.